Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel reacting to. I'm Deja. So last time on This Is Us, we had Kevin returning to guest star on the Manny, as I think it was like a special episode. He had major reservations about it, especially when they changed the last bit of the script. He felt like that was their way of almost humiliating him. We are right back in it when we delve into deeper. I do like that with Kate's newfound perspective on herself from the previous episode in regards to her singing. She booked her first proper gig. We get the we start getting those early indications back in the past where she was feeling completely inferior to her mother. She felt like she couldn't perform. Like I said, it wasn't. I felt like it was almost like her mother was over smothering her, but at the same time she wasn't, and Kate just didn't want that. And then finally with Randall, we see that he starts feeling a little bit on edge and reservations after him and Beth decided to adopt an older child, and then they have that sort of argument outside. And then finally, when we go blast back into the past, Rebecca was looking to help Jack, like making sure he goes to his AA meetings, and she brought him back home. They were going to work on it. He never shared that he was technically struggling. He kind of kept it under control, and he went to that, I think it was that boxing he went to, almost fighting it through that way. But this time everyone's gonna know. She said that we need to all know so we could help you. Now I'm excited to get into the next episode. Here we are with This Is Us season 2 episode 3, Deja Vu.
I promised my wife that we would talk more. I'm finding that harder to do.
It's probably stressing.
Got 2 sons though. Hope they don't end up cavemen like me.
Wait, what?
Marinara?
It's been 3 weeks, Ben. 3 weeks since we've been approved to foster.
Oh, damn, bolognese. I love it when you cook your feelings.
I just don't understand what's taking so long.
Yeah, great. All right, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Well,
Her name is Deja,
and
and she's on her way over.
Wow. 12-year-old
wow.
Deja. Well, it's her full name Deja Vu, but is it just Deja?
What's happening, Ben?
I know, baby.
Anyway, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today. You know it means a lot to me, right?
Are you kidding? I can't believe Sylvester Stallone is in your movie.
I can't believe it
Wow.
either. I know.
Every champion was once a contender who refused to give up.
Not so bad.
Oh, is that Sylvester Stallone? Oh my god!
Oh, Lord.
Mr. Stallone, how are you?
I wish Dad was here. I mean, to see this set and all you've accomplished,
Yeah,
what
but
you've gone through.
you can't see it though. Right, so
Kevin.
check that out.
I think Kevin wants to keep his relationship, or that part of his dad, locked up. Because obviously what happened at that wake he went to, or the wake he had crashed, that was already hard enough for him to remember, like grudge up those feelings. So I think for him, his way of coping with his dad's death is just to keeping that, not basically like remembering his dad and remembering his memory is one thing, but then not bringing him into the present, if that makes sense. Oh yeah, he would have loved this, yeah, but he's not here, sort of thing. So I guess that's his way of coping and stuff too.
I put an ad in the paper looking for my birth parents. Yeah, she says she's my mom.
I hope this isn't a trap, but his mom died, so shit.
I just want to tell you that you were our dad's favorite actor.
Thank
I
you.
mean, we watched all your movies like 1,000 times.
You know what? Why don't you bring your father down to the set sometime?
Our dad actually died when we were in high school. So
Oh.
I just want to thank you for making my dad feel good.
Thank you for telling me that you're welcome. I really appreciate this. Very sweet.
Yeah, we panned down
Oh,
from,
come on.
right?
Unbelievable, yeah.
When you're in the ring.
I'm impressed.
Okay.
Okay, good.
When was the last time you had sex? It's been a while. Becca. What? Have sex with Jack. I'm telling you, if you let so much time go by, that the answer to that question is it's been a while, that was the beginning of the end for me and Miguel.
Give her
Slap
up.
a big, carefree smile on your face and just sweep your husband off his feet.
What's all this?
And Jack Pearson and you.
Oh. I need to use this adjective now. I need someone to come and Jack Pearson me.
Remember what we learned? When she gets here, we'll give her a tour of the house. Repeat our names a lot so that she learns them. Keep asking if she has any questions.
So happy to have you here. This is Tez and She is most definitely not okay. She just got yanked out of her family and plopped down with a bunch of strangers. Just be patient, have zero expectations, and it's not exactly your temperament, huh?
I'm working on it.
Randall's more like, I
I'll
need to
reach
know
out
everything
tomorrow
down
when
to
we
the
get a full
last
file
second.
challenge.
Oh, I'm glad they came with him.
You got a great sister here.
Yes, I do. Thank you for noticing. We like her a lot. We're gonna keep her. Yeah.
Nah, it's gotta be tough. Not having them here, I get it.
Yeah. It was a long time ago, you know, for me, so.
I'm thinking for a moment about my kids when they were little, messy hair and matching pajamas and all that stuff, and I swear to you, I can see it all so very clearly. There's only memories that mean something and the memories that don't.
And he doesn't want to do that because it brings up all his trauma. But this will make his scene
Let's do one for your
epic.
father.
Sir, first of all, I want to thank you for everything.
And this is going to come from the heart
I
now.
want you to know. So, guys, can we? It's not I can see all the.
Come on, Kevin. Use that emotion. Let it fuel you. And this is literally what he's avoiding, because I think he's put like a block on his subconscious every time it really, excuse my language, fucks with him every time he thinks of his dad. That's why he hates bringing him up into the present. Even just like talking about him, I think probably screws him over more than it did with Kate. Come
Sorry,
on,
guys.
Kevin, just come on. You could do this. Do it. And do it for Jack.
Nice. How we doing today?
Can we give her back?
Oh,
I think she's just shy.
She barely talks.
Tess, put yourself in Deja's shoes.
Those are mine.
I know.
You said this is my room.
It is your room.
No, get the back, you hate.
Whoa, what's the matter?
whoa. She used to get
Right? We're okay.
beaten.
Everybody's okay.
No, everything's.
That's why she did that in Randall's presence.
You said in your ad that you didn't need money, so
No, she's
I
a
thought you
work
have
job.
money, right? You have money. Where are you going? What?
It's not her. Let's go.
Randall, what?
So should we eat our burgers?
I was thinking that maybe we could eat our burgers later.
She's gonna try and kiss him. Aww.
Maybe just slow down.
I don't think he's.
Okay, I'm sorry. There's just been a lot going on lately.
Sorry.
No,
This was a really,
I believe I thought I was going to win this girl over by repeating our names and getting her a tour. It's pretty stupid.
not stupid. Hopeful.
I study, I train. It's not that hard.
It's different, Randall. It's a different type of hard.
That was so good.
Oh, he got
Off
it.
to a rocky start. No pun intended. But that's what you got going. It was awesome.
Hey, why would you tell Sylvester Stallone about our dad? Really? Okay, because you know what? Him bringing it up to me 2 seconds before the scene started really threw me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. There's
Well, it's her dad too, and she can bring it up whenever. That's not. You cannot monopolize on Jack.
You never talk about it.
Well, you know what? So, because I don't want to wallow in sadness about it.
Okay, there's
I
a
have a
difference
problem.
between wallowing and actually having a normal conversation about it.
Yes.
I'm not like you. We're different people. I need to walk around and be sad and damaged just because you are.
Oh, excuse me? She is not sad and damaged. What the fuck? Excuse my language. If anyone's sad and damaged, it's 100% Kevin. But that was really, like, that wasn't fair to say to Kate. That really was shit.
You know, it's a lot harder than I thought. Talking to you. You know, my life before I met you, Becky, it wasn't great. But now they say that if I want to fix myself, I've got to sit in that. I got to sit in all the ugly, horrible years.
I really like this perspective we're getting. Obviously, Kevin's very similar to his dad in terms of not being able to talk about his grief, and here Jack can't talk, and not just about his alcoholism, but his grief of his upbringing, his relationship with his father, always not being able to do anything. So I guess he was always moving forward. He's never really had to look back, And again, the other perspective is Randall, his other son. Even though Randall's not his biological son, Randall was always wired to. First time in his life, he feels like something is hard. He's struggling with Deja, because every time he's ever come across something, he's been able to just do it, to fix it. He's always hit the problem head on, and he is quote unquote malfunctioning because he's not somebody who he would plan and try and deal with the problem rather than avoid the problem. But he's finding it hard. He's struggling because Deja is difficult to deal with, and he just doesn't know how. Like his mind cannot compute. He's even said it perfectly himself. He studied or he trained and he got through it. Whereas this is something different. So I really like the two perspectives we're getting, obviously from Jack and then from both his sons.
I didn't want to feel like I was feeling.
Baby, you are the strongest person I know.
No, he doesn't feel
I
that.
don't know.
But I do. I know.
Aww.
Because I miss talking to you. And I'm not ready to stop yet.
Aww.
Oh, who's in charge here? Your mom or dad? Like, who makes all the rules? They both do. But, Mom. You guys have your own iPads? Yeah. This house is crazy.
Oh, does it remind her of William?
Then
Oh,
you should stay.
I don't know, I'm getting teary-eyed.
So maybe if you stay here, you'll have fun. And if you come home, you'll be sad.
Can you show me how to turn on the lights in the bathroom?
Yeah, you just walk in and wave your hands.
This house is crazy.
Aww.
Okay, fine. Just because the bed in my room sucks.
Aww.
You and your unit are gonna save him. Remember now, he's like a father to you.
Oh my
He's gonna die
God.
on your watch if you don't save him.
Right?
That the night, presumably that Jack died, Kevin was out, so he wasn't even home. So maybe that's got to do with why he feels guilty, the grief. Oh, that's when he gave him the necklace he carries with him. Tells him, oh shit.
I borrowed money from my dad
Oh my God.
to buy our house.
It's so sad to know that we've got a time limit now on this. He's opening up, like ooh, that must have taken a lot for him to dredge that up.
My whole childhood, I felt split inside. And then there were my birth parents who I never met.
I don't know why I'm crying.
I've got this big, amazing, beautiful life. I think that means it's gonna happen for you too. Your mom might not be coming back for a while.
Whew, you had to hit her with the bad news.
She might be going to jail for a while.
Shit.
I'm sorry, Kate. I'm an idiot. I don't think you're sad and damaged. I don't know why I said that. Kate, it's really hard for me with Dad.
Okay.
Why?
Well, maybe one day.
I've got a feeling it's got something to do with before he dies. Like, he feels guilty about something, just like Kate felt guilty for ages. So that was episode 3. What a great episode. I'm really liking the parallels that we're getting. Straight off the bat, we find out that Jack is struggling with opening up. And I guess the alcoholism and bottling it in, never really talking about it. And he hit the nail on the head about how men are not meant to talk their feelings. They're not meant to be able to express themselves. And he hit it right there, because especially Jack is not just a product of his time, because of where he grew up, how his father is literally the living embodiment of toxic masculinity, how his dad used to treat him, how he always felt inferior. And it was fantastic how we were able to bring that full circle, and how when he was at his AA talking about how he didn't want his sons to turn out like him, and obviously and a great way, like Kate even mentioned at the end that Kevin is just like Dad, how he bottles things up. He's not really good at being able to express his feelings, his sadness especially. So we saw that how Beth and Randall, I wouldn't say they got to a rocky start with Deja. However, this is one of the things that Randall was worried about. They were worried in the beginning, and obviously when Deja and Beth had that fight. However, that scene with Annie and Tess was great. I love how Annie remembered William in that moment where Deja, the way she was acting, and it was nice because again it forms familiarity, it forms a good way to connect with Deja. And obviously Deja, clearly Randall had picked it up, either I don't know if it was her dad, her mom's boyfriend, other male figures in her life have always been physically abusive. The way she flinched when Randall had come in, and that's probably why she'd went and asked the kids about who runs the rules and what happens, sort of thing, just trying to get an outlook on the living situation. It's sad obviously the way she reacted, and that's a normal reaction purely because she's always expecting her mom to come back, and if she's not coming back, I think it's just that frustration. But I'm hoping they can work it. And this I loved again Randall acknowledging that he is struggling, because Randall has always come across as the type of, you know what, a challenge, I could deal with a challenge, no problem, I'll work hard and get through it. But this was going to be difficult, and this was a huge learning curve for him, and it's beyond the usual learning curve as trying to learn a new skill. Learning the piano, probably learning a new language might have been easier for Randall than having to deal with another human and having to involve another human emotion. So that's, I hope Deja stays. I want to see the journey with her. The whole thing with Sylvester Stallone was epic, and again, Kate being so happy, not just to be around him, but the happiness it brought her, knowing that it was almost another way of her being close to her dad, even though her dad was dead. And Sylvester Stallone said it great as well, and I mentioned this in reaction, how when she was talking about it, he remembers being back there, he remembers these kids when he was younger, he can literally just feel it. And it was, what he told Kevin about the analogy about time is like time, it's just, it just depends on the good memories and the bad memories, but time isn't some, like the way Kate was talking to him just felt like we were right there just watching his films. And I think that's how, obviously with her trying to express her happiness and her gratitude, because again it was just like having a piece of the fact that the actor Sylvester Stallone was still alive and around. It's like having a piece of her dad still there with her, because he would have loved to have been on the set, just as she had mentioned. Of course, when her and Kevin had that fight, she brought it up, like he can never talk about dad, which he never does. It's something that he's struggled with. We've seen it plenty of times. He never brings him up. It's that part of his life, and I've mentioned this in reaction, he's just shut down completely. I don't know if he struggles with talking about it, I guess. And again, even towards the end, where you saw, obviously he did mention about how he hurt his, I think it was in season 1, how he hurt his leg, but the necklace that he wore, the last, because he got rid of everything, he had mentioned that all the plane models they used to build and stuff, he got rid of everything, but that necklace was the only thing. And I think, if I'm correct, it was the necklace he took to Vietnam, his tags, that's the only thing he has of his dad. So again, either one, he feels some form of guilt, maybe he was meant to be at the house with his dad that night and he left with Sophie. So I do believe that there's some subsequent of guilt he feels there, or if the death has, because by the looks of it the house was on fire, so if the death has got something to do with Jack's alcoholism not getting better and he fell asleep drunk or something, which I mentioned before, there's always the fact that he blames himself for what he did, like that sort of thing. So there's also that. However, there's also a third option where when Jack and Rebecca, obviously Rebecca wanting to Jack Pierce and Jack, wanting to give him a night together because they've not been intimate, they've not made love yet for a while. The way Jack was talking, and again he hit it perfectly on the head, where through AA is a type of therapy to help deal with the alcoholism, try and figure out where it started, and it's his inability that he was so determined to get out of his, like you mentioned, get away from his parents, get away from his father, get out of that neighborhood, trying to be something his dad never was, trying to revisit that, because again I guess it's the root of his alcoholism, all of this aggression that he's feeling. he's struggling with that because he doesn't want to live that. That's an experience he doesn't want to go back to, similar to how Kevin's feeling. But I do 100% think Jack is also dealing with some form of depression as well. Depression, now that if you've obviously he was using alcohol as a way to numb the depression, to mask it. Now that he's trying to move on from that and remove that from his life, I guess there is a form of depression that is right there. And I literally, even though I cried after, it was like a delayed effect. When he opened up to Rebecca, and then again, this was a huge thing, especially with his relationship with his father, and told her that he had borrowed money. That would have Jack has pride, but he shows pride in a different sense compared to how his father and how he learnt from his dad. So that would have taken a lot from him, because he wanted to provide and be there for his family. But the fact that he had to run back to his dad to get that money, it probably played in his head and killed him a lot of the time. However, for him to finally admit that to Rebecca, and even said, there are other things, but I will tell you. And again, I don't know, because from when she had got him back from Miguel's place to it was the end of the first episode, there was like 6 months later. I don't know if his progression was good enough. Again, I'm very intrigued to see how he had died. Like, the house burnt down, by the looks of it, the kids weren't home, or the house or something. But I'm very, very invested in to know how that all happened. So I'm really, really intrigued. And of course, there was that twin fight that they had. Kevin again was lashing out and blaming his problems on everyone else. But no, they all unfortunately deal with their own form of trauma. Oh, and obviously at the beginning, when Randall had written that letter, I was throwing out all sorts of names and stuff. Unfortunately, it was someone that was trying to take advantage of him. So you don't need money, but you do have money, sort of thing. But here I'm gonna try that again. But I did like how his siblings were there with him. I know that especially Kevin likes to give him a lot of stick, but Kevin does care about him. It was just his own insecurity and inferiority that pushed him away from Randall for years. But I think there's a sense that, sense of foreboding, a still sense of responsibility Kevin has. I don't know if Kevin's I know Kevin's older, he's the older twin compared to Kate, but I don't know what's the perspective in terms of Randall. I don't know if they'll get into specifics about that. But Kevin being the oldest brother, I think still feels like there is a form of responsibility he has to make sure he looks out for his brother and sister. So that was a good episode. I really like how we're seeing this transformation of Jack, how he's finally dealing with certain things he had to deal with in his past. Instead of running away from it, now he literally said it, he's sitting through all the ugly stuff. And I'm very, it's like the more he becomes better, I'm very intrigued and worried about how he does ultimately die. And I wonder if that's something we'll find out this season or the next. But that was a fantastic episode. I'm really excited to see where we go. Oh, and final note, I wonder now, after that conversation Kevin had with Kate, he will look to get therapy. Even though Kate said, we'll talk about it one day. And if he will look to open up, get therapy, I do think Kevin needs help. Because again, that's a huge blockage that he's not willing to touch. And I'm wondering if that's going to be something he might explore himself too over the coming seasons. So yes, that was a fantastic episode. Thank you for watching this video, and if you did like my video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.